Since the game has yet to reach the second of many acts, there are a lot of story threads that have just begun to form in Genshin, one of which is the Gnosis. At the start of the game, each of the Archons are in possession of a Gnosis, which allows them to tap into the power of Celestia. Beyond that, there isn't a lot known about the Gnosis. Hong Li seems to have gotten his ability to make more from his, but it's not the only source of the Archon's power. Both Venti and Hong Li are shown to use incredible powers in their character crests, even with their Gnosis gone. How the Archons got their Gnosis is yet to be confirmed, but I think there's a clear answer. They won them in the Archon War. The war started when 7 divine seats were opened up in Celestia. Gods began to fight to become divine, while others decided to protect mortals or different parts of the land. Those who won became known as the Seven, the Archons that the people of Teyvat worship today. I believe that those who proved themselves worthy of the divine seat weren't actually able to become divine, but were gifted with the Gnosis, which allowed them to channel power from Celestia. Like the Gnosis, it's unclear what Celestia is, beyond the notion that it floats above Teyvat, is the home of the divine, and worthy heroes may one day ascend to it. However, it doesn't seem like the Archons are exactly happy with Celestia. In the webcomic, Venti sidesteps the topic with Vanessa, while Ceritzia is trying to start a little war against the divine. Interestingly, only 2 heroes have ever been able to ascend to Celestia, Vanessa and Guha, and it's probably won't be the case, but it'd be really cool if it ended up being that the twins were some form of reincarnations of the 2 heroes and they're divine, and that's why they can use the different powers, but rant aside, back to the Gnoses. Of course, we can't be certain about the origins of the Gnosis, and the idea that they were awarded to those Archons is just a theory. What isn't a theory is the fact that the Gnosis appearance take after chess pieces. Venti's looks like a queen piece, while Hong Li's looks like a rook. As many people have pointed out, however, there are 6 different types of chess pieces and 7 elements. So what is MiHoYo planning on doing? The only thing that would make sense would be that they were planning for a full chess set to be used, one side with our Traveler and the other side with our twin, both taking up the roles of the pawns. After all, as someone who could take on any element, the Traveler would make a great representation of the pawn, a piece that can take on any of the other forms. Plus, we are the one getting sent around doing a number of tasks to help people with their end goals, wear a pawn to others. But there are 8 pawns in total, and an extra piece remaining from the back line. Unless, of course, there was another element that the people of Teyvat either forgot about or never knew. It would also make sense in the context of the Archon War. Remember, it started because there were 7 free seats. How many seats there are in total is never actually expressed, simply how many were free. It's also important to remember that there had to be at least one person who was connected to Celestia to determine who would be worthy. After all, Venti became a part of the 7, even though he didn't really join in the war at all. Venti gained his because of his part in the rebellion against Dekrabian to help Mondstadt. He doesn't rip it away from anyone. Did he get the kill count of Dekrabian by taking him out? Did his actions prove him worthy? No matter the answer, somebody else had to watch and come up with the decision, which means that there has to be another Archon-like creature out there. So then, what could this missing element be? Throughout the game, there is one visual element that keeps appearing, one that isn't tied to any of the known vision elements, and that is stars. From the wishes we perform, the stars we create in our idol animations, and even the constellations we use to strengthen characters, stars keep showing up as such an important part of the game that it'd be impossible for a player, be they one who likes exploring or sticks strictly to the gacha elements, to miss them. Plus, there's Dainslief, a character with an unknown abnormal element, and he's shown to have a star motif, and I don't think that's a coincidence. It's also interesting to note that not only has Dainslief given the rundown of each of the upcoming chapters in Teyvat's chapter storyline preview, he's also shown to have a negative opinion of the gods in Celestia, like the other Archons, which no other character does. Of course, this idea would only work if there were some part of Teyvat that didn't have an Archon to protect it. Oh wait, Conry exists, the place where both Kaya and Dainslief come from. And it's said to be the hidden corner where the god's gaze does not fall, and that people dream of dreaming. Plus the whole curse thing. Overall, Conria is the exact type of place for a forgotten element to be from. And though you've probably already guessed what I was working to, I think that Dainslief is the Archon of that lost element. During the quest that serves as his introduction, when you meet him at Stormterror's lair, he reminisces about the city that used to stand there, meaning that he was alive more than 2,600 years ago, and that he was alive during the Archon War. We also know that he has a connection to our twin. His quest icon has the twins in it, and after asking us his 3 questions, he remarks on whether or not we are similar to her or him, the pronoun changing based on which twin you play as. It would also explain why no one would be obtaining a vision connected to the lost element. Dainslief has seemingly devoted himself to some unknown mission that involves fighting the Abyss Order and our twin, so he wouldn't have time to be granting people the visions for living up to his ideals. With this lost element, there would be one king, one queen, two rooks, three bishops, and two knights style Gnosis. We already know that the queen went to Venti and a rook to Hongli, but it's not clear why. However, I will take a guess as to what Gnosis Dainslief would have. With the king being the final piece taken in a game and holding all the value, I believe that Dainslief will be the game's metaphorical king. With Ciricia trying to obtain all the Gnosis, it makes sense that the final piece taken would have to be the one that nobody knows about. Dainslief is also meant to be the star of the final chapter when Kenria becomes the main stage. At the end of the day, there's a lot of different possibilities that could explain what MiHoYo is planning to do with the chess pieces and star motifs, and it will be really interesting to see what the final answer is. But until then, I'm just gonna keep coming up with random series with these bits of information given to us.